guys, my name is Abby and welcome back to a new video. So if you know anything about me, I started my sewing journey making dresses for holidays. I started off with making dresses for like Christmas and stuff, but I did branch out to make dresses for like Valentine's Day, Easter, and of course, Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. I love horror movies and all things spooky. So I decided that this year I would make a Halloween dress. I really love the strawberry dress that was trending. The strawberry dress that was trending. And so when I went to Joann's, they were having a huge sale on fabric, and I found this beautiful fabric. This is like the wrong side of the fabric, but it's like a little ghost, and it's like a mesh fabric, and I think it'd be cute to kind of do something like that inspired where this is the overlay. Very cute details, and I think that is very much my style with a cute puff sleeve, huge gathered skirt. I didn't get a lot of fabric because I don't want it to be anything too crazy. I do want to be able to wear it to work. Because at my job, it's like a very lax kind of dress code. There's certain things like, obviously it can't be like super short. It has to be like mid-thigh, nothing too like cheeky. So, I do want to make it like work appropriate, not super huge, something like poofy, something I can work around in. But yeah, I'm so excited for that, to be making a cute Halloween dress. I don't think I made a Halloween dress last year. I think it's been 2 years since I last made one, so I'm super excited. So let's jump right into how I make this cute, adorable ghost Halloween dress. To begin, I first cut out my bust pieces. Using the center fold of my black fabric, I cut out 2 rectangles that were 1.5 times the length of my bust so that I could gather it, but I ended up altering one of the rectangles later on. I also cut out a piece of the same dimensions of my ghost fabric to lay onto the black gathered bust. Next, I cut out my waist pieces. It's kind of supposed to resemble a corset waist, but I didn't want to put like all the boning and stuff in it. So there are 3 pieces total, the front side cut on the center front, and the 2 side pieces. I cut out double of each piece to also be used as the lining. Then for the back of the bust, I wanted it to also be one big piece, so I cut it out to be the length of both the waist and the bust pieces together, and made sure to cut out 2 more pieces for the lining. Also, both of these fabrics shed so much. I think I vacuumed my room every single day while working on this, and my carpet still just looked so bad. The black fabric just kept fraying, and the ghost fabric sequins are still everywhere, so if my floor looks disgusting, I'm so sorry. Placing my side waist pieces to the front waist piece, right sides together, I sewed them down to make it the one cohesive piece. Then, taking my bust pieces, I placed the ghost fabric onto the black fabric, and then I gathered the top and bottom of both of them using my hand sewing needle and a quick running stitch, and I made sure to gather them together to help it lay down better. Taking the bottom of the gathered bust of the black and ghost fabric, I placed them right sides together to one of the waist pieces, making sure to evenly space out the gathers. And then this is where I realized I needed to alter the lining of the bust. Instead of also having it be gathered, I ended up cutting it into 3 pieces with a front and 2 sides to better fit my bust and to help me not to spill out or flash anybody, and to just really hold me better in the dress. Once it was all cut out, I matched up these seams with the seams of my waist pieces and sewed them together. After stitching them down, I sewed on the back pieces of the bodice to each side of the front bodice pieces and the lining bodice to make them complete pieces, and I also ended up curving the bodice down a little bit more once it reached the back of me to help it fit me better and not dig into my arm. Moving on to the skirt, using my black fabric, I cut out 2 rectangles that were the width of my fabric and my desired length. Taking one of the rectangles, I cut it in half and then connected each of those halves to the other rectangle to make it now one big long piece. So I do this so that way I have seams on either side of my dress, like side seams, and I avoid having that seam line down the front of my dress. I just think this makes it a lot more appealing to the eye. I also repeated this for the ghost fabric to make the overlay of the skirt. After sergering the side raw edges and the seam allowance down on the black skirt, I brought back out my trusty hand sewing needle and did a running stitch to gather the top edges of both skirts. Going back to my bodice, I sewed the skirts to the bottom of the waist piece, right sides together, and making sure that the gathers were evenly spaced, and I tried to match up the side seams of the skirt to the side seams of the waist to help it look more clean. Once the skirt was securely attached to the bodice, I took out my lining bodice and matched up the top edges to sew it down. I made sure to evenly space out the top gathered edge of the bust evenly across the top edge of the lining bust. But before I secured that down, I cut out 2 long rectangles to be the length of my straps, and I folded them into fourths to help make them stronger and also tuck away the raw edge, and then I sewed them down. Once the straps were good, I sandwiched them in between the tops of the bodices so that the raw edge of the strap would be hidden inside the layers. Once I connected the top edges of the bodice, the base was technically complete, so I folded up the raw edge of the waist lining and pinned it down for now, going back to it at the end of the dress. Then taking my zipper, I folded in the side edges of the dress and pinned it down in between the layers to try and hide the zipper. In the space underneath the zipper, I matched up both skirts, right sides together, and sewed them down separately before stitching my zipper. With the back of the dress now complete, I did a rolled hem on the black skirt to tuck away the raw edge. I opted to not do a rolled hem on the ghost skirt because the fabric was not fraying and I wanted to keep it nice and light, and I was afraid the hem would make it a little bulkier and weigh it down. Then, taking the previously folded waist lining edge, I just did a quick whip stitch to secure it down to the black skirt, making sure that the stitching was not visible through the front. And then, with all that, the ghost dress was finally complete.